Welcome back to another episode of That Sound Podcast. And if you love music, you're in the right place. Today, when did you get the good news in the email?
Oh, so yeah, I was at I should have checked because we were at Bon Jovi's bar on Wednesday night. I had already checked earlier in the day and saw that I didn't win passes for the first. But I didn't realize that emails were still going to come out later that day for Saturday. Uh, so later that evening, I want to say around 10 o'clock, just ballpark, but it was later that evening. One of my friends looks and he's showing me, he's like, I won for tomorrow. And I was like, that's kick ass. I probably should have checked at that moment. Again, I was like, well, I didn't win. I should have checked at that moment and we probably could have made a deal. Hey, you take me, I'll take you. But of course, he took a friend. They were from Poland. He took a friend from Poland. So we might not have done that anyway because, that they got to take the opportunity while they can. But it was good because I was able to help out another friend that was coming and staying with me. So I think it was when I had just parked the car and I was walking to the stadium for that first show on Thursday because I was looking for my instructions, like what gate do I need to go pick up my pass at?
Mm-hmm.
And so I just typed in Metallica in my search, and the first thing that pops up is, hey, here's your birthday gift. The next thing was, winner, Snake Pit. I was like, and all of a sudden I had all the energy in the world. I just ran to the stadium.
Nice.
I was on cloud nine. My head was spinning, and I was like, I can't believe it.
Wow, man.
That's awesome. So, like, rocking up to, for the people that don't know, including myself, so Snake Pit, because you spoke before about you have to line up for, the frantic gets in first and then I disappear. So what is the structure for Snake Pit passes? How does it all go?
So for Snake Pit passes, I think if you purchase them, you get in with general admission, or you generally get in with, and if you win Snake Pit passes, unless you have a package tied to it, then I think, if you get like the black box experience and all that, if you just have straight up Snake Pit passes, you're going to go in with GA. If you win Snake Pit passes as John Q Public, you have to have already purchased a ticket. So if you have seats, or if you're on the floor general admission, you're going to get in with general admission, essentially. If you have frantic, or if you have I disappear and you have early entry and you happen to get Snake Pit, then you go collect your Snake Pit pass and you go in with I disappear frantic. So you get that early entry. So I'm going to get in there.
Nice.
I'm going to get in the stadium before a majority of the other Snake Pit pass holders get in.
Mm-hmm. So you get in, and whose spot were you aiming for, or what spot were you aiming for?
I'm always a drum kit number one guy, which is as much heartburn as I have in anxiously awaiting getting in there and getting to that spot. I never have to rush.
Right.
Everybody I know that's in there with early entry is always like lining up at the dip. Camilla from Australia, she's always there for drum kit number three when she's in there. So I'm always on the opposite side of her office, over at drum kit number one, and I'm generally always the first person walking over to drum kit number one.
Right.
But I love the shot of the drums coming up during Ecstasy. I love the hardcore fast song that we're going to get to kick things off. I just want that immediate energy, and then to go enjoy myself the rest of the way in the Snake Pit.
Yeah, man, I'm getting them chills again.
As far as Limp Bizkit goes, because man, after we learned in Toronto, they really, really get the crowd into it.
Yeah,
Unlike Thursday with the sparse crowd for Pantera, by the time Limp Bizkit came out, it's Saturday, people aren't at work, the place is full, and Limp Bizkit, man, they really get it going. But it was nice being at the soundboard with other friends, getting that view this time rather than being crushed at the rail.
Yeah, and I seen some awesome footage of Fred. He got into the crowd.
Yeah, he just jumped. It looked the camera angle I saw, it looked like he just fell over, but yeah, he just jumps right in,
Yeah.
goes in, runs into Mike Muir from Suicidal Tendencies, who at one point was being held back from Sam from Metallica's security. And you can see the look in Fred Durst's eyes when he realized hey, I got to make sure that he knows who he is. It's because he was involved with them. And he's, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mike Muir, and all of a sudden at that point they rocked out together. But it was really cool. He's in there amongst the crowd and handing out the microphone and making contact with people, just mixing it up. It was really cool.
Yeah, like we spoke on the last episode, I really think they're going to be a hit with the Metallica fans. Like, Luke, we caught them in Belfast. We were pleasantly surprised how intense the crowd got and really how good they were.
Oh yeah, they were brilliant, but that crowd was nuts.
Yeah, it was nuts in
Like
Belfast.
we couldn't believe how crazy that show got. Like there was not one song that you could breathe.
No, everybody rolled back the years. Like, it definitely was an older crowd, like maybe 30 to 40 or maybe 40 to 50. But everybody turns into that teenager again. I think they're a perfect fit for Metallica.
Yeah, yeah! Yo!
Let's get into Metallica then on night 2 in Nashville.
So night 2 in Nashville, we got the same night 2 opener. We got the same 2 openers actually, Gavin, for the Madrid shows.
Okay. Yeah.
Whiplash.
Before that, though, we had the weather delay.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. We got to talk about that. Yeah.
Meant to mention that.
So,
We we were there, and I wasn't looking at the screen, but I heard the stadium, the collective gasp, and looked up and saw on the big screen, severe weather, everybody must evacuate, this and that. And at that point, my buddies were just like, just stand there and act like you don't speak English. And but they were getting all of us out of the snake pit. It took some time. Some people just retreated and were able to wait under the tunnels to the snake pit. Eventually, I did make it out and just went up to the concourse. I wasn't on the concourse. It was packed, but I wasn't on the concourse 5 minutes before I heard everybody erupt and we were back down. And I think overall, Metallica was delayed probably half an hour.
you got rain though, right?
We did. I didn't see any lightning. There must have been some in the vicinity.
Yeah.
So the sky did open up. With Ice Nine Kills, there was no rain. It was sunny, blue sky during Limp Bizkit. While Metallica was setting up and it got dark, clouds had moved in. So then there was just a quick downpour, the severe weather warning. And then we came back, and by the time I got my spot back, within the next few minutes, the rain had stopped. I took off my rain jacket before Metallica came on, and I didn't need it the rest of the show.
Right, let's get into the set list then. So, Whiplash, right in front of you, Chris. Tell me about it.
Yep, that was that's my thing. Like night 1, I'm really looking forward to Orion. Night 2, I'm really looking for Whiplash right off the bat. So I was happy I had those seats that day. They come out to Whiplash. I'm on cloud 9. Being in the Seattle mode, I saw your Seattle talk.
Oh, yeah.
So I always love when they play Dick Rash as games go to Seattle. And then immediately the guys around me who I've been explaining, like, this is what you're going to expect, and we're talking about the drums coming up. We're talking about going into Whiplash. And as soon as they see Lars from here to there, they're tapping my shoulder. They were like, you weren't kidding. Thank you so much.
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, you just turn into a child again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with that. I don't care. Like, we all have icons and we all have idols, and no matter if you're 40 or you're 30 or whatever, I don't care. That's the beauty of music. You get what we talked about earlier. You get the goosebumps, you get the stomach dropping, you get the awe, you get it all. And I can only imagine, and please God, someday I get the snake pit. Look, we done pretty good on Slane. We got some of the tracks.
Gold Circle.
Yeah, we got some of the tracks that's coming up on night 2 right in front of us too. But I'm just trying to explain the emotion and the roller coaster that you get from seeing these guys so close to you.
It's so good. And at one point, James, is rocking out with Lars, and then he turns and he's facing the crowd. So I mean, he's literally right above me, just going nuts. And I'm screaming like a little kid. I'm screaming like I'm at a Taylor Swift concert,
Yeah.
And at that point, though, but I got both horns in the air. I'm just screaming, and then I yell, "Fuck yeah, James!" And he looks at me and he smiles, and I'm like, that's the $1 million moment for me.
Yeah.
That's funny you say that, Chris. I was on Gavin's shoulders in the gold circle at Slane, and
Hmm.
the security guard was shouting at us, and I think it was during Master of Puppets. No, it might have been For Whom the Bell Tolls, because he was playing the Les Paul. I have the picture of it when he puts his thing up,
Yeah.
and Gavin starts shouting at him,
Yeah. I don't know why. It
and
came over me. I don't know what.
he he's like, James, James, and he sort of starts looking down into the crowd, and Gavin's giving him the finger
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't. I don't.
for
I
for
don't know why.
for the laugh, but like not with a look of aggression on his face, just like yeah.
Yeah.
And he sort of mad dogs him or
Yeah.
eyeballs him, and it's just like,
I actually have the picture.
yeah, we have
That's
the
so cool.
pictures. But it was so good that it was like the nod of approval. It was like, you guys are with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't have phones out around. Well, obviously I took one picture, but like I took a couple of snaps at the start, but I was just like I was in awe. I'm like Snake Pit's another level. Someday I'll get there, but this was good enough for me in this moment. And let's keep going through the set list, and we definitely have some stories about Slane too that we can relate to. Um,
We got Whiplash at number one.
yeah. Number
Number two, what have we got at number two? Number two, we have Bells, For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's funny because whenever I'm in that spot, for whatever reason, I'll just kind of black out afterwards on what took place there. And in Madrid, that we got Cyanide in Madrid, correct?
Yes.
Correct. Yep.
And that was it. I remember seeing like they put out the Cyanide video, and I reached out to a friend. I was like, they played Cyanide? I didn't remember that. And then I started going back through like my photos, and I had a video, like 10-second video through Cyanide, and I was like, wow, they sure as hell played Cyanide. I think
Yeah.
it was the next day after they released when I saw the set list that Zach puts out. But yeah, it was. I think it was later on that I was like, they played Bells. I know they do. They always do.
Yeah.
But then I remembered I remembered actually because there's moments that I always remember, and one is when they say, "Here's the silence so loud," and then from S&M2, "Motherfucker."
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
was like, okay, I did yell that. I'm happy they did play it.
The adrenaline was probably running high right then.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, yeah. And then we got Ride the Lightning.
Which is one of my favorites live.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to touch on, Luke. Do you remember we got the solo right in front of us?
Oh yeah, we got the solo right in front of us for one actually.
Was it one? I thought he came down for Ride as well.
He might have done, but I think we were a wee bit further back for Ride.
Yeah,
Whereas for one, we were actually
yeah, right
I,
there.
I don't know, like 15 foot away, Chris.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
platform. We were like 4 rows deep from the rail, and Kirk was right in front of us. But
It's awesome.
Ride the Lightning was awesome as well. I think Ride the Lightning, Gavin, was after.
It was early.
It was after Memory Remains, because I actually remember screaming in excitement. It was like, holy fuck.
Yeah,
Because James had brought out the Man to Wolf,
that's right.
and I hadn't seen it previous before, and we got a load of head turns in front of us
Yeah,
as if something wrong was after happening. And I had only realized it, and I was like, it's the Man to Wolf. I was overcome with excitement that guitar was on stage after however many years that it was in HQ or supposedly at the museum in Tokyo, because for anyone who's into the guitar collecting no more than myself, into the lore of James and Kirk's collection, I thought that guitar had surely vanished, never to return.
yeah, yeah. It was great to see. And then the memory remains, which we featured in 2 videos of Metallica's, which is very funny. We're in Slane Castle and we're in Madrid in the actual Metallica videos. I'm sure you're in plenty of them too, Chris.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's definitely cool seeing that. Another track that I will not get sick of listening to. I love the way the fans can sing their hearts out to that one. I really like to see it in the set. I'm not sure about you, Chris. What do you think on that track?
I always love it because when I first became a Metallica fan, that's what was new at the time too, and it's like I've got a lot of really great memories with it. And then I saw it at the 30th when Marianne Faithfull came out and sang with that, and so I consider myself lucky having seen that performance.
Wow.
Anything from Reload, yeah, I'm never going to say no to.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool. And then we get our 72 season slot with Lux Eterna and Too Far Gone. Too Far Gone is a great song too.
Great song.
Yeah, yeah. Lux Eterna, it's okay. It's not one of my favorites off the album, but definitely Too Far Gone for me anyway. I'm not sure about you guys.
Yeah, with Lux Eterna, it's still just because that was the first material we got of 72 seasons. So that's near and dear to me.
Yeah.
I'm still excited during that song and love singing along. Yeah, Too Far Gone. I'm just trying to place myself there, but I I enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, definitely. Like it definitely was a step up. Just going off a little bit, I think it really was a step up from Hardwired. This whole album, the production on the album as well is brilliant. So then we get into Kirk and Rob's Doodle, which is Dolly Parton's Jolene, which I haven't seen any footage of, but I'm gonna guess I'd say it went down a treat.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell. Yeah, I didn't realize it was Jolene. I was just kind of, I was there, I was there in the moment, and I had just moved over. I'd been looking for. I took that opportunity. Like, I need to go around and look for friends
Okay.
because I had just kind of come over, put myself in a no man's land after that first one. But then I realized that they had gone into something local at that point. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, this is going to be a hit with the locals.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I going back, Chris, at what stage does the drum kit move then from where you were? How many tracks do you get on that drum kit?
Get four at the first,
Four.
get
Okay.
four at the second, and then three at three, then four at four.
Okay, interesting. Interesting. Well, track number 8, Fade to Black.
Hmm.
Damn.
I think so. What was going on in my life at that moment was the Dallas Stars were playing in Game 7 against the Colorado Avalanche.
Okay. Game
And so
7.
during the delay, it was 2-2, and I was texting my friends. I was like, "Metallica's coming on. Good luck." So at that point, at the end of the doodle and at the intro tape, I took the moment of who won the game. I saw the Dallas Stars had won, and I let
No
out,
way.
a primal scream that my team had beat our rivals and advanced. And I think everybody around me must have thought I was the biggest Fade to Black fan, and I very well still could be, but it didn't have anything to do with that. But I hadn't. Obviously, it's been a bit since I've heard anything other than the regular stuff
Hmm.
since last year. But I was really happy to hear Fade to Black and be
Oh,
up close for it.
such a good track. Like, funny, I spoke about it earlier on a different podcast. Like, between James riffing and Kirk solos, so and his lyrics, and how special that song is. It's such a good song. It's such a brilliant song. And were they tight on that song? No mistakes. Everything went smooth.
Yeah, I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary there. Yeah, there's times where I'm always like, please hit this, Kirk. Please hit this, and I didn't.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure in the solos.
Yeah, it's tough.
yeah.
Yeah.
There are certain things, and he loves to play Greenie on that song as well.
Is that where you got your pictures, Chris? I seen you got some sick pictures on your Instagram.
Yeah, a lot of them were from a lot of them obviously were from that first slot right there. But then I think that's where I was able to get good pictures. I think during Fade to Black and right after, and then I think as we went into Inamorata and over to three, because like 1 and 2 is where I was nearest, and I think once we went to three, I was like, I've got the shots I need by this point, and I can relax.
Yeah.
But I did get a good picture over at Drum Kit 3 of Lars handing a stick to somebody. I later found a video today of that interaction, so I was able to find that guy on Instagram and get that picture over to him.
Ah,
Ah,
great.
man.
That's cool. That's
That's what it's all about.
100%. Yeah, that's the family, boy. But then we get into Wherever I May Roam.
Oh, a heavy hitter.
So good. It's better live though. It is better live in
Oh
my
yeah,
opinion. It's like it's such a good arena song where everybody just gets another. You might be hitting a little bit of a wall, the legs are getting heavy, beers in, but that song will bring you back. Definitely. Um, So then we roll into the Call of Cthulhu with the dedication to Cliff. And then unfortunately, my prediction too, skipping ahead a little bit, Chris, didn't come through. Was there any whispers about the Unforgiven too?
Same. And unfortunately, because I'm a guy who doesn't, I'm like, if you see the set list, don't tell me. And somebody had already word had already got reached me. I was like, damn it. But I knew that they were going to be going with Unforgiven. So I was disappointed at that point, and luckily I wasn't hoping for it when I heard the intro tape. I knew what we were going into.
Yeah.
So there was no letdown at that point. It was like, okay, go into Unforgiven. Also around that time, so Cthulhu into Unforgiven, I ran into Clint. I'd heard, because you had told me he was going to be there, be in the pit.
Yeah.
At that point, I run into him, and he's with his buddies, and right in front of me, I was like, I recognize that guy. There's a guy in front of me, and I'd seen him previous to that because I was like, I keep seeing this guy, and then his buddy was like, hey, Clint, look, it's Jay Weinberg, and then tap him on the shoulder, and Clint meets him briefly. I was like, oh my goodness. So going into Unforgiven, I'm rocking out next to Jay Weinberg. Throughout that song, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool, and seeing how much of a fan he is.
Wow. And
then as that rolls into along with Inamorata, he's taking video, he's taking pictures, and at one point I just tapped him on the shoulder and was able to get a picture with him and told him how much I appreciate his work and seeing him in the flesh and being in his presence.
Wow, that's sick. Yeah, I know Clint and him are friendly, but Jesus, man, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I think it is one of those things, though. You never know who you're going to meet in the pit.
Yeah.
At a Metallica gig, especially in the Snake Pit. Even some of those celebrities, you think of the Australian tour and the New Zealand tour, Gavin, like there's a lot of Aussies that are mad into Metallica.
Of course.
Mad into the heavier stuff. Like you could be bumping shoulders with a Daniel Ricciardo or a Margot Robbie or something like that. Yeah. People who just absolutely adore the band and heavy music.
And did Suicidal Tendencies play that? No, they played the other night, right?
It played the first night.
Yeah, they played the first night. Of course, he's with them now, right? But nice guy, I'm sure. That's a hell of a story. And did you got to say hi to Clint as well, which is cool too. That's nice.
It was nice to see him because I thought, leading up to it, I told you I thought he'd be on tour and wouldn't be able to make it. So I'm elated for him that he was able to make the hometown show.
Yeah. I sent him a message and he said, the show was awesome. But Clint's cool. He's the man. He has it all. He's a great guy. I love his podcast too. Make sure to check it out, of course. Metal Up Your Podcast. It's a great show. So then we get into another one of your favorites, Chris. Fight Fire with Fire.
Oh man! I was like, well, they're probably gonna do black. They're probably gonna stick black into this slot. I've been anticipating, the rotation. We get to know it, and I was like, fine, that's fine with me. Give me Fight Fire with Fire, and I rocked it out as I always do.
Yeah, and then Moth into Flame won, and then Enter Sandman to finish it off with the balls. So, how is the body after this heavy endurance of Metallica over the last 3 or 4 weeks?
Yeah, it was. Immediately after Toronto, it was like, okay, we got to get back into tour shape, and thankfully, I held up very well. This past weekend, it was just more getting sleep somewhere.
And again, a big thank you for coming on, Chris. We really appreciate it, and great feedback from our listeners. They enjoy it. So hopefully we get you back on to review them shows, the ones that you're hitting up towards the end of the tour.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do it. I appreciate you having me, and I enjoy what you guys are doing.
Cool. Thanks so much, man. Well, that's it for always. If you enjoyed the show, please hit that subscribe button. Give us a follow and leave us a comment what your top 5 Metallica tracks are. Until the next one, keep rocking.